busways. Okay, so let me close that one here. Right click on that one, give me my pointer. There you go. If you guys remember yesterday when Jerry was here, and before that, I did talk about feeder busways and plug-in busways, right? Feeder busway take big chunk of load, like 1600 amp, from point A to point B, and plug-in busways take a chunk of load, like 225 amp, and distribute the load between all these equipments. Do you guys remember that? Now a third type, so there's feeder busway, plug-in busway. The third type of busway, Derek, my friend, is called trolley busway. Trolley busway is very simple. Unlike plug-in busways, where in order to feed from the busway, you have to plug it in. If you are to move the machine, you have to unplug, move the machine, plug again. That's a plug-in busway. The trolley busway has a track where you actually unplug the machine, like receptacle. All what you have to do is just unplug that receptacle, move the connection along the track. There's a track to any location that you want along the path of that track, and then plug the machine in again, and you're up and running. So you don't have to mess with plugging the disconnect itself. So it's very advantageous in the places where machines move. If you have a manufacturing floor, method, they keep moving the machine from one location to another. It's really nice. Then you can slide the trolley busway, they call it trolley plug-in. You slide it along the track and move it to any location. Does that make sense, guys? The only difference between the trolley busway and the plug-in busway is the ability to move them without plugging and unplugging. So that's what we're gonna do. So a few things, guys. Identify features of a trolley busway. How do they do? What do they do for a living? Trolley busway installation. We use also trolley busways. There are two uses for trolley busways for the most part. You can feed machines or you can feed lights. And you can see, guys, you can put all your lights here, fit from a trolley, and pull these lights from one location to another. Components of support and cord drops. Support and cord drops that you need to support that trolley, exactly like the plug-in and the feeder. So that's basically what we're going to do in terms of this trolley busway. Any comments, any questions so far? Trolley busways, like plug-in busways, except you move it along the track. I want to show you guys right here in the pink stuff here, Adam. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 trolley busways in our industrial project. 4 trolley busways. Trolley busway A, B, C, and D, right into this project. They are in pink. The orange ones are plug-in busways, and the blue ones right in here are feeder busways. So we have 3 types of busways in the industrial project that you guys have. Okay, the industrial project, we have 100 amp. These are all of them are 100 amp enclosed bus bar electrical system. This is the industrial plug-in busway. Okay, provide current to equipment through trolley busways. What do? They feed the equipment. The most important thing, guys, through the trolleys that moves, the key point is moves with the particular object being assembled. So if you have a drill, Derek, and you're working on that, say, engine, right? And you're using that drill, blah, 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 and then now the engine moves to the other location, right? Then you drag that drill with you along the trolley busway, and you start continue to work on this engine. No exposed light parts, because everything, guys, is along the track, right? Here's my drill coming from the track, and I drag that drill along the track to follow these equipment that need to be assembled. Eliminate the hazard of portable cords. Instead of having portable cords plugged into outlets that's in the floor. What's the alternative? The alternative is to have outlets in the floor, guys, and you plug in your drills and your equipment as you work on these assembly lines. So typically, a trolley busway is great if you have an assembly line and you need the tools that you're plugging in to work on this assembly line, the tools to move with you along the assembly line. So that's a great explanation. In the project that we have, Adam, we have in E2, we have A, B, C, and D trolleys. And I showed you right here, guys. There is A, there is B, C, and D. All these are trolley busways in the industrial project that we have. So please, please look at them. They're typically straight sections and joined end to end. You can see them right here. They're straight sections, guys, joined end to end right here. with a trolley plug-in into them. Typically 10-foot sections. You can have also smaller length if are available, but it's exactly like the plug-in 10-foot sections. You can have curved section if you will move around curves, and other fittings that comes with it to assemble it to go cross or around corners and what's not. Any comments, guys, about the industrial project? How many trolleys we have? 4, 100 amp each, A, B, C, D. Here's how they look like, guys. The trolley busway, as you tie your equipment into it, you can move it along the track to follow the equipment that need to be assembled. The rest of it, Derek, is they're talking about the track, the trolleys in our project, in the commercial project. By the way, in the commercial / industrial project that we have, our Revit project, guys, does not have a trolley busway. Can I get you guys to understand? We don't have a trolley busway in the industrial project. In the book project that we have 4 trolleys. Trolley number 1, it's 68 feet. So that's your assembly line. They put an assembly line 68 feet and they put a trolley busway above the assembly line, guys. It's a 3-phase, 3-phase system, dropout sections. So we have 3-phase dropout section is installed at about the midpoint of the run. So this is to feed the trolley busway. So they're suspended at 8 foot with the steel hangers. They're suspending these 8-foot steel hangers holding it. 3-phase with a section to feed it. Capped with an end plate. We have an end plate and pumper assembly here at the end. So we have a section for it. You're going to see what they do is they have a section where you can feed it right in here with conduit and wire, and then they cap the ends of the plug-in busway. So that's section A. Here you go. You can feed. You can have a place where you can feed your equipment right into this with cab section and what's not. You can support. All these areas are supported typically every 5 feet. You provide the support for your equipment. So it's exactly like any other plug-in busways, guys, except the plug-in, instead of plugging in, it moves along the track. It moves along the track. Feed-in adapter. In order to feed this plug-in busway, you have to have a box where you bring a conduit and a wire to it. So that's what they do. They call it feed-in adapter. Used to feed the busway, so you have to feed the busway with a box. It's fed from the panel. So here's my busway right in here. You have at the end or in the middle, you bring a conduit that you take it all the way to the panel. Here's my panel. And you take your wires and you feed it, and then your equipment will be along the track. All these trolleys will be going along the track of these plug-in busways. Brusher type wire terminals, different type of construction. Conduit bring power to the trolley busway. You bring the power to the trolley busway through a conduit, and the feeder that feeds this trolley busway, guys, is a 100 amp feeder. So you take a 100 amp circuit breaker right in here with a 100 amp feeder, and you feed that trolley busway. Any comments, guys? Any questions about the 4 trolley busways that we have, 100 amp each in the industrial project? And the load, and it moves the equipment along the assembly line. That's really the bottom line for these. You can see trolley busway section with feed-in adapters. So feed-in adapters right in here, tying your equipment to it. We have wire grab here. We have end plates at the end here. So different type of construction, knockouts and what's not. So that's your trolley busways. Okay, trolley. Now the trolley busway, guys, have trolleys, right? These trolleys that move along the track. The trolleys, they can have fused or non-fused. So typically these trolleys, you're going to see them in a second here. Oops, here you go. Here's the trolleys, guys, that moves details of a trolley. Look at that trolley right in here. You have a fuse for the trolleys. Let's look at that one. We have a fuse. We have a plug. We have a place where you can hang your equipment. Here's my fuse. Here's my plug. Place you can hang your tools. You plug in your tools right into this receptacle. You get your power. You have the shoes where you connect right here to the phases. And you have wheels where you can wheel. That trolley can move. So you have mechanical connection and you have electrical connection for this trolley. You have a cord that brings the power into the tools. that you need to work on, and polarized receptacle with 3-phase on the ground here to feed your tools. Any comments, guys? Any questions? So imagine having a drill or whatever tool, or a welder or what's not, and you're working on an assembly line, and the engine is sitting here, and you're doing working on it here. Then you need to move it to the other end because you add other things to it. You move the trolley along the track with the assembly line equipment, the on assembly line, and you start working on it in a different location and so forth. Any comments, guys? Any questions? I will remind you guys, there is a cord here. You have to have a fuse. You fuse it, you disconnect. It will be, in this case, the plug. It acts as your disconnect. The only difference is you can move it along the track. You can move this trolley along the track. How many trolleys you have? You can have as many trolleys as you need for this assembly line along the track of the assembly line. Okay, so we talked about, guys, the trolleys. We have fusible box type hangers. That's the hanger that you guys were looking at. We have heavy duty rating, hinged cover. You can open it, polar type fuse cutouts, plug-in receptacles, and cord clamps. 8 wheels. We have 8 wheels that can allow it to move, and 4 side thrust rollers. This is just to get you the motion along the track. There are also 6 granite bronze shoes. These are what get you the power. So you need, and for these you need wheels so that trolley can move. That's just mechanical motion. And then you need shoes, what they call them shoes, to connect the power. Can you imagine, guys, you're connecting a power like a crane. You're moving that crane exactly like a crane, except that trolley is moving on wheels and connected to the power. So the shoes, so-called the shoes, the 6 shoes, guys, they make the contact to the bus bar, bring the 3-phase into the equipment. They go through a fuse cutout, so you can fuse them and connect to a rubber cord, like you've seen. We have 4 wire rubber cords, provide 3 conductors for the 3-phase and an equipment ground. The 4th one, of course, will be the equipment ground and conductor. So these are what you have, what you're looking at right here. Any comments, guys? Any questions about the trolley? The reason why they call them trolley busway, because they have these trolleys that move along the track. Any comments? Any questions? Look at your tools. You can hang your tools right here while you're working on the assembly line, guys. Plug in. You have fused. You have ASO cord, give you flexibility, and you can move this tool along the track of that particular trolley busway. Any comments, gentlemen? Any questions? Matt, does it make sense? That's really the heart of the trolley busway. So let's see how many trolleys we have in each one of them. The conduit run must be installed from the feed-ins. So then they feed the trolley with the conduit, guys. Feed-in adapter to the power panel. It is a 100 amp feeder. So you bring a 100 amp feeder to a junction box that attached to part of the trolley busway, and you feed that trolley busway with a 100 amp feeder wire and conduit from that particular panel. Okay, so let's talk about busway B, guys. Trolley busway B. It's 100 amp. This is running. Look how far is it? 131 feet, guys. Conduit runs must be routed to conform to the structure. Bringing it requires 9. We have 9 trolleys in the section B. And section B is right here. You guys can look at it right in here, going along the manufacturing floor here. And there are 9 trolleys that allow you to plug in 9 tools or 9 equipments, welders, drills, cutters, whatever you want to draw, whatever you need plug in along the assembly line. Does that make sense, guys? Right in here. So you put an assembly line right here, and you put your equipment that you need to plug into it. C. Derek, my friend, C is right in here, a shorter one. This is running a 96 feet. Again, connected through a feed-in, through an adapter, located at the end of the runway, and it has how many trolleys? Can I emphasize the number of the trolleys in each one of them, guys? 6 trolleys. So B has 9, C has 6 trolleys to feed 6 equipments, basically. D. Moving into D, guys, we have 106 feet of that one. Installation method parts, same as the run, so we have a power that's coming into it, and this baby has an 8 trolleys. Each one of these trolley busways, guys, have an adapter where you can bring the conduit and wire to it, number one, and then they have as many trolleys as you need for this assembly line. All the trolleys, guys, all the trolleys in this project are 100 amp 208 system 3-phase. 100 amp 208 system 3-phase. The plugs they have a plugs attachment. You plug in the equipment, they're polarized so you don't reverse the direction of the 3-phase equipment. What is the advantage of having a trolley busway? You don't have plug in an assembly line, Derek, as you manufacture all these engines for your Ford F-50 or 250. Am I saying it right? Ford 250, or as you work on these equipment, you don't have to plug and unplug as the equipment move along the assembly line. Isn't that an advantage? Great advantage. So increase amount of work done, so you're more productive to be completed. Neater and safer production. You don't need to plug and unplug. Everything is plugged. All what you have to do is you take it and slide that drill along the track and keep working on the assembly line. It's America for you, being more productive, right? The whole idea is to be more productive. We're in the business of solving problems, power problems for customers. When you present this one to a manufacturer, to an order of manufacturer, say, here, well, I can make your workforce more productive by installing this track for you, where we can install some trolleys in it. Wouldn't you think that's a great solution, right? A competitive edge. So anyway, so that's where neater and safer production area. Tools are suspended over the working place, so you don't have the drill sitting right here. When you're done with your drill, you hang your drill right, the little hook, and everything looks cool. Safer, cool, more productive. That's otherwise, what's alternative? The alternative, like you guys are doing, plugging it into an outlet that's sitting on the floor or coming from the ceiling. Okay, so that's the four. We have 100 amp plug-in trolley busways. To add salt to injury, my friends, they also have another trolley busway in the manufacturing floor, but this one is not, there are no tools plugged into it. They're lights. They're plugging 180 fluorescent luminaires are suspended from a 50 amp light trolley busway. Now, why would you plug in lights in a trolley busway? In a manufacturing floor, guys, in assembly line, sometimes 1 month, most of the work will be in the north side of the building, or the middle of the building, or the south side of the building. So you really don't need light in one area, but you need a lot of lights in another area. Look how smart these guys are. So what they do, if most of the work is in this area, instead of putting extra light there, they drag these lights. These lights are plugged in or connected to a trolley busway. They drag these lights through their trolleys into the direction where they need more light. When they're done, they put them back where they need them, and they keep moving these lights without plugging and unplugging these lights. Isn't that a great opportunity? So look at that, 50 amp trolley busway fit from a 50 amp feeder, and you have 180 fluorescent lights directly. All these fluorescent lights, you look at above your head, instead of being hardwired, they are actually plugged in the trolleys that can move. So that's an interesting way of doing it. Trolley entrance and caps, the same thing. You have to have a closed ends of the duct runs, provide entrance to the point for insertion and removal of the trolleys. If you want to remove these trolley, if it's not working, they allow you at the end to slide that trolley out and go fix it and what's not. All the trolleys have the same opportunities. Here's how your trolley looks like, guys. So you have your trolley here, and your cord in here, and your tools is sitting in here. Here's my tool, and then you track, again, you move it along the track. If you have a light, here's my lighting fixture shining in here, same thing. You have a track, and you go and you feed your lights, and then you can move your lights, you grab your lights, and you can, actually your lights are hanging from the trolley here. So they're physically hanging from the trolley, so you can drag the light. You don't have to, they're physically and electrically connected to the trolley and physically hanging from the trolley. Does that make sense, guys? And you drag that light along the perimeter. Here's how they bring the power into it, guys. They take 100, say this was like 100 amp or 50 amp feeder with wires and conduit and they bring the power right in here, and this is where the track starts. That's in the, you can either bring the power mat to the middle of the track or at the end of the track. Preferably to the middle, because the middle the power will split. So you bring your 100 amp, and then your trolleys will be here, and then your light will be hanging in here, or your equipment, could be also equipment, will be hanging from that one. This is where you bring power to the trolley. So the trolley doesn't go all the way to the panel. You bring power to it. Select the plug-in. Okay, the bus bars. This trolley bus bar, guys, have two cover bus bars, the lighting one. And look at this is just a cross-section area for each one of them. Now again, this is for the lights only. And we have 50 amp worth at 250 cover bus bars. We're powering in with 2.8, but 250 is rated for. And 50 amp, and this is a cross-sectional area for that particular lighting. They call it lighting trolleys. There's equipment trolleys and lighting trolleys. What's the difference? One, you connect lights and you move the lights, and one you connect equipment and you move the equipment. Same way. Here's all different type of tracks, my friends, and the bars and what's not. Okay, the trolleys equipped with cord clamps and grounding screws. Industrial fluorescent. Here's the industrial fluorescent light that they're using for this one. There are two lamps, fluorescent. You guys are familiar with this one. F96 T12. Who uses T12 anymore? And with this amount of watts, you know, T12, nobody uses T12 anymore. So they have to change this one to T8. But that's what they're using for this particular project. Our project is going to be LEDs, guys, and we do not have a trolley busways. Trolley bus lighting trolley busways or equipment trolley busways. Could we have done trolley busways, and if it's needed? Like I said, the assembly lines is a very good example where a trolley busway becomes advantageous above the plug-in busways. If your equipment, if your machines are set in place, plug-in busway will be the best. If what you're working on moves a lot, then the trolley busway would be your option. These particular, they have something called, anybody knows what lead lag adders? This will be on the test area. Lead lag adders. What these do, these electrical devices, put them in the lights, and they make the light fire at different point every half a cycle. One of these lights will fire. The reason for this one, it eliminates, if you're looking at a saw, and when the saw is spinning, guys, in a three-phase system, at one point, because the frequency that the saw is running at and the frequency the lights are burning at are the same frequency, you will not be able to see that the saw is running. So what's wrong with that? You put your finger, you lost your finger. To eliminate this, this scenario, what they do is they have this lead lag adders. I don't know if now they have, the bellows can take care of that one too. And they make them fire at different points, so they don't use the 0 point, guys, in a three-phase system. So long story short, you will be able to distinguish between a running saw and a stall saw. Is that important for safety? Very important. So that's lead lag adders. I'm not sure the ballast, I believe they can take care of it now. So that's a way of eliminating the ability of not being able to distinguish between a running equipment and stall equipment in terms of visual. Okay, so that's okay. So lead lag, okay. And the term that they use is, that's what I'm looking for, stroboscopic effect. They call it stroboscopic effect, which the not being able to distinguish between a stall and a running drill or a saw. The way they do them, they make them fire at different point of the circle of the here's my line. So you'll be able to fire at this point. That light will fire at this point. So they don't all go through the 0 at the same time. Okay, so that's your lead lag adders. Support at center by trolley attachment. Different points. Here's all the hooks that you can use. Heavy duty weight support. That's where you tie your equipment, hang your equipment from it, or lights or what's not. Panel supplies. This is just talk about the boiler room in the industrial project, guys. The lights and the receptacle needs is connected directly to the panel. Fixed outlet. Okay. And the last a few things, guys, about the cords. Article 400 talk about drops or cords. They have cables that we use cords. The cords that they're using for this project are 4 conductors, S, J, rubber cords. They are heavy duty usage, and they're color coded as a black and a red and a white. So we have 2 hots and a neutral, plus of course the equivalent ground conductor. Equivalent ground conductor. Okay, so then we can feed the 2 feeds from it. You can feed through a conduit, or you can feed through a rubber cord drops from the plug-in busways. I don't know if you guys can see how your equipment is coming and fed. All your equipment are coming out of this manufacturing floor, fed along the track lights, the track here. As the cord comes down here, as these cords come down, guys, they need to be supported right in this area. So what they do, weight-wise, what they do, the smarter than Jag, they use a strain relieve connectors that grabs into cord grip model. They grab into the cord and hold the physical mechanical weight of this this cord. This is how they look like, Adam. They have an adapter, and they grab that mesh, will hold and grab the weight, the physical mechanical weight, and instead of the weight of the cable will be held physically mechanically by the connectors of the wires, it will be held by the box. So that connector right here will hold the weight of the cable. So bus drop and strain, they call it strain relief cord grip. All of them. When you guys, did you see them when we went to Boston Scientific? They have that cord grip. Otherwise, if you don't put this one, all the weight of the cord will be sitting on the connectors, the hot connectors, and they're going to pull it and disconnect it and arc and spark. And they go by weight. Look at them. If you need 50-pound weight to hold, or 80-pound, or 150-pound, they can give you the maximum deflection and the breaking strength for each one of them, no load length, diameter, all the details for all this grip that you can put under the cable. All this direction. Application of bus drop and strain relief. Look how many ways you can put the strain relief, guys, for receptacle, and there's so many ways of bringing these cables into the equipment that you want, and having your strain relief in different directions. So be aware, there's a lot of details in that one. So that's basically it in terms of, guys, plug-in busways or trolley busways. Trolley busways, the advantage of them, assembly lines, or if it's a lighting trolley busways, it allows you to physically, mechanically move all your lights without unplugging them, move them to a different location. You just, slide them along the track, and off it goes. So that's your plug-in busway. Let me see if we can have, not sure if we missed any of this stuff. So we talked about this one, guys. We talked about all the hardware. So please look at the hardware. You're not electricians, but it's, if you're to install it, you have to be careful of, the most important things for us, Derek, is when you are an estimator and a project manager, guys, that's what you need. If it is a trolley busway, you need to estimate how much it's going to cost, how long will it take you to install it. So knowing a little bit about the installation will really help you. If you're an electrician, you might have to practice a couple of times putting in. Here's the contact shoes, guys. They bring the phases right here. Can you guys see the power comes here? And then the wheels that allows it to move along the track. They bring the wires into a fuse. They fuse it down to, say, number 12, to a receptacle, a plug in here, and then a cord with a plug, a receptacle with a cord with a plug comes and plug right into here to get the 3-phase to this 3-phase drill. Here's your 4-wire cord, electrical drill, plug. Look at the polarization of the plug, X, Y, Z, the 3-phase plus the ground. So that's typical. Look how they hang them, guys. Different support to hang this trolley busways. How they put them together, different assemblies, so it gets into assembly, different way of connecting the loads. This is how it looks like when you're tying them all the way down to your machines or equipments. We talked about the strain relief, guys, or the standard model cord grip to relieve the weight of the cords. This is how you tie them and holds on the cable into the connector. We talked about sizing them based on the weight that you need to carry. So there's a few calculations you have to do weight-wise. This is how they can come, guys. If you're coming to a control box, look at Strain relief right here. Look at this one. You bring him right in here, the relief. Look at different ways of locating him. The whole idea, guys, is not to damage your cable. These cords can be 18 feet down, 10 feet up in the air. So you need to hold that physical, mechanical weight of these cords. So anyway, different, can you guys see that? Different safety springs, rain relief that you can put them in different locations. Here's the trolley that moves, my friends. There's a cover. This is just, you can open that cover and all the contacts, the physical, mechanical contacts are here. It moves along the track. Can you guys see how nice you drag that baby all the way, and now you got drill. The drill was here, now it's at the other end of the room. Different type. I don't know if you guys can see it right in here, feeding these machines. So here's your light. The light system, guys, the same thing. They're feeding some lights out of, looks like a trolley, so you can move these lights along a certain area. This is how you bring power. You looked at these different type of hardware that comes with it, and that's basically it. Any comments, guys? Any questions about the trolley busways? All these, Matt, everything that we throw at you guys for one little reason. As you go in the field, an industrial manufacturing floor, you want to provide the better solution for a power system for this area. Here's another option. Does that make sense? Feeder busway, plug-in busway, and now a trolley busway. These are your solution for an industrial manufacturing floor. So that's all about solution. The more you know, guys, about solutions for problems, the better designer you will be. So, comments, questions, my friends? Okay, I'm going to give you guys 5 minutes, and then I really would like to go over ambiguity. The second chapter, chapter 6, talk about table 310.15b16. Review, one more review, guys, before I kick you out of here at the end of the summer, and then you're on your own sizing and what's not. So we'll look at 310.15b16, the ambiguity, the rating, and what's not. I'm not going to do any calculation, Matt, because the calculation happened tomorrow. We have voltage drop. We'll talk about voltage drop. Not going to do any calc for this chapter. We'll do the calc separate. I'm just going to talk about the theory. All right, let's take a few seconds here. Thank you.